What's happening, guys? Yes, that's right, it's Phoenix, and I'm back with a new video. You might be thinking, why? Cause it's Christmas time. Oh, excuse me. Anyways, so I recently got into digital art, and it's pretty amazing. It's been 2 months since I got into digital art, and just in case y'all want to know which app is this is the Sketchbook Pro app because Photoshop is a little bit difficult for me. And what do you do if you don't have like Photoshop? Photoshop and Procreate are amazing apps for digital art and content creation. I feel Procreate is a little more easier, but what do you do if you don't have Apple products? You go home and cry. Anyways, so somebody suggested Sketchbook Pro, and this app is pretty amazing. It makes my art look insane. Like look at that lightning. It's amazing. It's amazing, and it's really easy to use. And yeah, that's about it. So I want to talk about the drawing. Okay, the artwork, and I know most of us, most of us use Pinterest for reference, or you use Pinterest to get inspired by a certain image, and you go and create your how do I put this, your version of the image. So I was scrolling through Pinterest, and I wanted to make something for Christmas, like I always do, right? So because last year I made traditionally made, like with ink and connector pens. I don't know when I'll get Copics, but anyways, I made a Santa Claus. Santa Claus from, basically he's called North. He's called North from Rise of the Guardians, the Disney movie. I'm sure most of you all know it. So I was scrolling through Pinterest, thinking I'll get a new inspiration, new picture, and I found this picture. Okay, so but the Norse mythology Santa Claus, it was really cool. But the person who made it, first of all, credits to the person who made this. This is my version of the picture. This is not the original picture. The original picture was, God knows who made it, but it is amazing. Credits to him. This is my version of the picture. Okay, inspired by. So we're already into digital art, let's try something. So this is like my first screen recording video on digital art. And yeah, so about this Norse Santa Claus, I wanted to go ahead and make him look like because I thought in that picture he looked like a more Viking kind of a Santa Claus. I was like, what if this fellow visited Thor? He like went on a holiday, came back, Oh, by the way, that reindeer which he's sitting on, that is Rudolph. Because in any case, if somebody says, if it is Rudolph, where is the red nose? वो घर पे रखा है, screw you. Sorry. So that is what it is, and I wanted to give him an Odin kind of look. Okay, because I said get rid of the red cap, both हो गया तेरा. And if you go to ASGARD, you come back badass. Because Santa Claus is a little bit, I won't say bulky, but a little bit like roundish. But in this picture, he's a little bit like thin and sleek. So yeah, so I concentrated more on the armor too. I went more into detail because if you Google Norse characters or Norse method of making a character, they concentrate more on the armor, which is really cool. And then they slightly add a touch of their power, be it lightning or witchcraft or just beams or whatever. So I went more into detail. And the thing with Sketchbook Pro is it makes using your brushes or making art really easy. So I'm using a synthetic brush as well as the ink pen brush, which helps you give a subtle highlight to most of your armor or most of your piece, most of the parts of your character. It helps you give a really good 3D look or a shine if you want. So if you just go along the layers with an ink pen, that gives a good trend. Like if you were doing traditionally, you would use a white ink jelly roll pen. Like after you ink, you color it with a color pencil or a sketch pen, irrespective. You could go around with a jelly roll or white ink jelly roll pen, which would give that subtle highlight in some spaces. Okay, and the best thing about the synthetic brush is it makes making fur really easy. Making fur with this brush is really easy, as well as like giving subtle highlights. So as long as I went along Rudolph's fur as well as the hooves, it made me give like, the thing is, when I use I use a synthetic brush to give like a slight gesture or a hint of what it's supposed to be like, what the shadows or what the artwork is supposed to be like, and that helped me make the rest, fill in the rest of the details. So, so talking about Rudolph, I wanted to go with a more raw, like reindeer character, which would make it look a little bit fierce, but also be like family friendly. Okay, because we are all used to the Rudolph smiling and stuff, but I wanted to go with this kind of Rudolph, which makes it is really exciting. It the concept of a raw, beastly Rudolph or a beastly reindeer. Okay, it's insane. Since I'm a big fan of Thor. And also if you play God of War 3, God of War 4, in fact, you would see on the logo itself, the Omega logo, there are Norse mythology or signs. So it's really helpful to add those signs to certain places with a brush pen, and then go over it with a highlight. If you go to the top right corner of the screen, you would see like there's a icon in the middle. Like if you download Sketchbook Pro, there's an icon in the middle which opens up and it shows you different kind of brushes that you could download. So different kind of brushes. So I also downloaded the Inktober set because, of course, if you tell me that, bro, you know Inktober, I will be like, yes, and you are my brother from today. So that's people know my relationship with Inktober. I'm just in love with it. And see, if you could observe the white ink splash, those are from the Inktober brushes, and the synthetic brush also helps to give us a slight background, like a slight deep kind of background. And yeah, the brushes also have, like, since it's Christmas, so they come out with different versions of brushes. The Christmas brushes also have like snowflakes, and since I'm using a pen tab, the XP pen, I think it's version 1 or 2. If you apply enough pressure, it will make your snowflake a little bit bigger. Like the snowflake brush would be like, you just like one is enough, and then you can go around with giving highlights and stuff like that. Yeah, so this is how the picture looks like when it's when you give your shadows and you give a background. And now the simple feature is like, you choose another layer. Okay, take a layer above the shadow layer, obviously, and you go on the option on the arrow that is pointing downwards, and you click on that, and you click color. So when you color over it, the shadow stays intact and you get a cool color. Also, another feature that you can do is you could choose another layer after coloring everything, and you can select glow. And the glow thing is like, you would use an airbrush tool or an airbrush pen in Sketchbook Pro, and you could go along to give the highlights. Now, this is what it is about the drawing of this piece. If you want to know why I've not posted in such a long time, okay, I have no excuse. Okay, just only that I've been practicing a lot of digital art, figuring out my style, and nobody will listen if I say COVID chalu hai, because excuses aren't inexcusable. That's what I believe. You either do it or you don't do it. Right? The only thing is you gotta do it on time. Right. So this is the final piece. This is what it looks like. If you like my content, if you like my artwork, do like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful Christmas. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.